Okay, let's take a look at a feature called Eliminate Pace Lines. But before I do, I want you to recognize that what you're looking at is the first race, Delaware Park on 9/22/2001. It's a route on the dirt, 1 mile, 110 yards, and the weighting factor that is being used to calculate the points and the picks is a Delaware route dirt fast weighting factor that I've been using over the years. So again, you would see the computer picks sorted out here by all points with King Allen, the favorite, the posted favorite right now, program number 3. One thing I wanted you to see is if you go to, let's say, past races, you'd see like Big Daddy's got at least, he's got 10 races to show. King Allen has got, I don't know, about 7. Inano only 2. And then the other guys have 5 or 6 each. So when the computer generates its values, like what's the best speeds and what's the average speeds and what's the last speeds and all of that, right now it's going to be using essentially all of those races as it does its compares and comparisons. Now, what you can do under advanced features, eliminate pace lines. So essentially, there's 2 ways of doing this. To eliminate pace lines or past races, you could look at it manually. You can literally look down through the races, look at how they finished, how they performed, and you can pretty much put a -1, and that will eliminate. And you can go right on down which races do you want to eliminate. Now, what you also can do under eliminate pace lines is it says automatic eliminate pace lines, set up the criteria, then execute. So let's look at the setup for a moment. Here are some criteria. We can basically say if the past race is at a different track, I don't want you to include it. If it's at a different distance, don't include it. If it's a sprint today and the past race was a route, don't include it, and so on. So you got these different options here to or criteria to use to eliminate races. So let's do that. Let's just say different tracks. I don't want you to include any different distances, sprints, routes, surfaces. Don't include any races that are more than 5 of their past races. And we can even toggle, I don't want you to consider turf off, okay? Although in this case it's a dirt race, so it's not going to matter. So that was what we would set up, and then we'd come under here, hit execute, and the program is going to eliminate those races. And it's going to show you what it did. Notice, in this particular case, Big Daddy, every one of his past races satisfies the criteria. King Allen, his last 2 are meeting the criteria, so they'll stay in. Inano is out. And El Guapo, all his races would be out, and then George's, the last race, would be in. And notice in many cases, if you look like El Guapo, all his past races, the distances, he's not run anything more than 6 furlongs. So you may look at that and say, all right, well, let's see what it would look like. And notice points are different now. Different horses are now considered as a contender, but King Allen is still on top. Okay, so something like that, you may want to go in manually and say, you know what, even though it's a mile and 110 yards, if he ran a mile, we're going to leave that in. So that's going to stay in. His 1 mile 70, that would stay in. Those are in already. This 1 mile would probably stay in, although, yeah, he would leave that in. Enano, we're going to leave, even though notice he's running at the same distance. If you look, he finished 8th, so that's why the program didn't include him. But at least have a race in there, we're going to include that. And then notice with the next horse, he ran all his races were sprints. So we'll include the last one anyway. And then George's, the last one's included. And so that's how we would call it. And that's how you would eliminate past races. Okay, so again, you could also clear them. If you hit the clear button, all those previous 10 races or more, or 10 races would be shown again in the calculations. So I just want you to see how to use this eliminate pace lines.